Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. All right, we got a busy pre-council today. We'll start with you, Emily.
Good afternoon, council.
Good afternoon.
So, you're hearing this from me again. Good Dog, Tuscaloosa, 1706 16th Street, conditional use. It's a dog bar park. Just a really quick review. This is behind the O'Reilly on 15th Street. This is what it looks like right now. And the proposed renderings for it. So they are conditional use request for a bar. We'll go into a little more detail about their occupancy, hours of operation, as well as their public safety plan tonight. Do y'all have any questions leading up to that?
They have another facility in Birmingham.
They do,
And
correct.
we
And one
know
in
that-
Auburn as well.
One in Auburn.
Yes, sir.
Do we have any sense, are they here?
So they're not here right now. They will be here tonight.
Do we have any sense of, has that been relatively trouble-free, or have there been rough spots in that, or do we know?
So far, what I've heard is really good success. They seem to have a really good business plan, operations, seems something that's fun and unique. So I think it'll be a good addition.
I haven't had any concerns or any opposition, especially with the location it is in. So I've been good. I've been up to date on it since, their beginning interest. So I'm good with it.
Okay,
So you can go eat a hot dog, take your dog and drink a
take
beer.
the dog
Makes
in.
me
Thank you.
After you drank all those beers, stay over in Raven, don't walk across the street.
Yeah,
Right.
and make sure you take care of your dogs.
Yeah.
Jack,
Yep.
thank you, Emily.
Yeah, we got a little list for you guys today.
Yes, sir.
This is 12th Avenue Terrace Townhomes. They are wanting to rezone from RMF1 to RMF2. The location is, so the Crimson, just south of 15th Street, that's that apartment complex you see in that aerial right there. And give you a better view here. Kind of close to the dog park a little bit, that area. But these two pieces of property here, they are rezoning from RMF2 to RMF1 to RMF2 in order to build townhomes, and 14 townhomes here. And these are just kind of the renderings that they've provided. It does conform to framework. Multifamily residential is what this area is identified as, and it was unanimously recommended for approval in October.
And this is another one that I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
I haven't received any opposition to this one either, but I don't know what's gonna happen tonight, because this is a public hearing.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't had any comments either. It seems like
How many units are there?
14 total
14?
townhouse units.
And put the map up again, please, where
Yes.
exactly is it?
So the Crimson is on the right there. 15th Street is like 2 blocks up.
The Crimson, is that what you're saying?
Across the street where all those
Crimson.
cars are right there. Right, that's across the street.
What
Is
is
that
that?
the Crimson?
Yeah, that's the Crimson, I believe. Crimson Student Living.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So the railroad track is towards the top, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Kind of close to Queen City.
Mr. Busby, that top red box would be where Shaver Animal Hospital.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Thanks. All right, and then next up we have the Terrace at Skyland Park. This is a planned unit development with 26 single-family residential lots. And this is in this area here. I know that Ms. Howard and Mr. Wilson, I believe, are familiar with this one here. And so this is the property today. So what they're doing is they are actually going to connect First Court to the north and 53rd Street East with kind of like a little, they're just going to connect those two streets and build some homes there.
But this is in, Councilman Miller's district, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's my district, but nobody came to me, so.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, I
so-
talked to Rob.
So
I said, I'm
it's
cool with him.
one of
I'm
those
just saying,
areas
like,
where I believe
he
the
bought the
district's
district was
lines
okay,
actually
but-
changed recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, some things changed, which is good
Which
for
is-
the neighborhood.
Yeah, and they're gonna be nice homes. and
They're
your
gonna be
district
nicer
is
for the
cool with it,
people.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
initially there was
that's it. Conforms to the plan. 26 new homes, unanimously recommended for
the
approval.
integrity of the neighborhood.
And then we have Foster's Gardens, which is another planned unit development.
Yeah,
Mr. Tyner, do you have questions?
that's over by you.
Looks like you got some questions on the previous one.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just
okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
confused by
This is pretty good.
how Cassius feels about that last one, because I didn't.
Oh, no, I mean, well, he just said they, Matthew and Raven was familiar with it, but
You been getting calls
it
about
was
this?
kinda like, it was in Raven district before the redistricting, so it's gonna land in mine.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they never spoke to me, but I did speak with the developer, we good on that. But as far as neighbors,
I think the opposition is coming from my district, because what is it, First Court is, everyone on that
right.
street is
Because
in my
it's
Everybody
district.
is secret of the
So we
neighborhood.
split a neighborhood, so it's
I
kinda,
got you.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean, but if it
Exactly.
falls in my district, then,
You the council.
yeah, but her district is the one complaining,
I got
or whatever.
Hey, I just,
But-
I've been sending them to you, so.
Yeah, that's cool, yeah,
Yeah.
so, but I'm on, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
but I can handle it.
All right,
What's,
so,
what's the house prices?
It's a nice-
Homeowner, will it be homeowner?
Homeowners, yeah, they're for
Yeah,
sale.
yeah,
What's
he-
the
yeah, he's
price?
not trying to
down
rent
here
them.
on the bottom here, it's 100,000 to 200,000 is what they've stated.
But most of their homes are like 2-car garages and.
Yeah, so this is kind of what they're
Yeah,
gonna be
then Brock
looking
said he
like.
wasn't gonna rent them at all, he
Yeah.
wanted to do them himself, so they're supposed to be nice homes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Foster's Gardens, so this one is another planned unit development, 73 single-family residential lots, about 16 acres, 3200 Foster's Ferry Road. This is Council District 1. I know when it was introduced, Mr. Wilson only had good things to say about it.
Yeah, and you know, and I want to thank you for coming to even express to those community members who did come out to the community meeting about the new planned development. So, and also the people had the opportunity to see who was going to be building the homes. They had the opportunity to see some renderings of the homes.
Who is building
Bill
that?
Lumsford.
Okay. That's
And
the
so,
price range.
oh yeah, it's going to be a very great addition to the community. It will be a HOA, so we're looking forward to these developments as the renderings as you see there. So we'll thank you so much.
This is the Royal Pines.
No, this is the
Foster's
Springer
Ferry.
Foster's Ferry, the Springer property.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yep, and it does conform to the plan and was recommended for approval.
Going down towards.
Pablo
we
Park
have
right across the street.
One introduction for you guys, this is just setting a public hearing. They are, Ms. Thompson owns a home that,
Yeah.
off Foster's Ferry Road, currently zoned BN. Everything around it is zoned R4. It's been a home, as you can see in this picture, since its existence there on that property. And so this is just a rezone to R4 to match the use of the property as it's always been.
And I talked to her and just listened to her to get her rationale. Let me ask you this though: are there many properties like hers, residential, being within that you all have seen in the areas?
In this area right here,
Yes.
I mean, this area is kind of a hodgepodge, but I would say this specific piece, I can't say why it would be zoned BN initially.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Since
Why
it's always
was
been a
it-
home. I mean, it's a good little area for like a corner store or something like that in the future, but
My
since it's
granddad
always
used to
been a
live on the
home, I
other
don't know
side.
exactly how
Yeah.
that came to be. And then everything else around it is, single family home and it is zoned R4,
Mhm.
so.
Like across from Lincoln Park?
No, this is right across the street. If you go down the hill from
Stillman
Stillman Heights,
Okay.
that house right there. And so that piece, not counting the house, is what she was trying to rezone. Is that right? Correct? Zach?
That's correct.
I see
Gotcha.
it now.
Uh huh. Because it was being. Thank you.
And then Mr. Gardner is gonna introduce these vacations for you guys.
Michael?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have several vacations that are going to be on the agenda tonight. This first one is a portion of 28th Street. It's on the west side of I-359. It's undeveloped right-of-way, been that way for probably forever. It's going to be divided among the property owners. So we have like 2 or 3 exhibits. You can see the red box there. That is the undeveloped right-of-way of 28th Street. It terminates on the boundary of I-359. So there's a northern component. Well, all of these were unanimously recommended. I'll just breeze through these. So these slides are all related to this same 28th Street. This is just the way the ownership has to be divided by law. There's the south portion, and then this next diagram is going to be the tiny little triangle right there that's got the square around it, that component there. So those three documents there make up the vacation of 28th Street. The next one is these are two vacations on the south side of Alberta Parkway. This was property that was acquired by the city for the development of Alberta Parkway, and it's no longer needed. It's a vacation of an alley here. You can see on the east side of 24th Avenue, on the south side of the parkway. And then there's another component on a little further to the east as well.
So can I ask you a question? I know,
Glad to see that.
what's the purpose of a vacation?
This is property that the city owns as public right-of-way. It's never been put into service for that purpose.
Gotcha.
So it's a way of us disposing of property that we don't need to maintain.
Gotcha.
And are we
That helps me,
Are we paid?
because I didn't know.
Tom?
We are, there is a statute that allows us to charge a vacation fee, and we have charged vacation fees pursuant to the statute regarding each of these vacations. But the problem is, we are stuck with what the state gives us, and we have to go by the assessed value, not the appraised value.
So the vacation fee is not just a fee for processing the vacation, but it's tied to some assessment
It is
Yeah.
tied to
value on the property?
A value, right.
Yeah.
It's not a substantial amount.
We do charge, but we also charge.
I need to get a construction.
And a lot of those alleys like that, the reason they were even developed, that's how our garbage used to be picked up. They would go behind people's homes and run through the alleys
Okay.
and get the garbage
From the back. Like the old days.
You know, what'll happen, these vacations, these properties are rights of ways that are getting vacated. They'll become land that this developer would incorporate into a development plan.
Gotcha.
Vacation is to the center line of the road.
And this last one is a portion of a 40-foot right-of-way on 26th Avenue at Juanita Drive. The building you see in the lower right-hand of that aerial is the elementary school. So this is a portion of this right-of-way, the northern half of that 40-foot right-of-way. This right-of-way does not extend onto the west to connect to 25th, so it's just a stub. And very similarly, there's your, it's 0.06 acres that we're going to be vacating. Any questions?
Questions, Michael? Okay. Thank you. Is that all from planning and engineering? And Mr. Junkin? Hey, Barry?
How you doing, Barry?
All right, this one is 34th Avenue. The lady that purchased this has the intentions of remodeling it. She says she's gotten some work done on the inside or brought material in. We've not been able to get in on the inside to see. The pictures show that we have not gotten any repairs to the outside. She is planning to be here tonight so she can explain her full situation, I guess.
Which district is it in?
One. Barry, I'm really concerned about this property. Because I spoke with, and I was very supportive of the person trying to help her nephew to get this property. But after speaking with her on yesterday and was told that, hey, because he has a sister, and I called Scott for some legal, answers. I'm really concerned about what do we do with this property at this point. Because if he has a sister and there was no will, and the mother is deceased and it is in the nephew's name, I'm just really kind of leery on what we need to do. We can't get into the legal part of how they seal it or anything like that.
Right.
But I'm just real concerned about what to do on that. And I let her know that I need to talk to him. And I let him know that this is kind of big to me when it comes to property.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a lost parent.
What was the city's recommendation on it?
Well, our department recommendation is go ahead and proceed on.
Okay, but you are wanting to.
No repairs have been done.
No, sir.
Nothing.
And
We gave him how long? 90 days?
And you haven't had access inside.
No, sir. Now, I spoke to someone that went in on the inside months ago. The house supposedly is structurally sound, but, the reason it got in here is because it was open to the public. Plus, with all the deterioration and damage to the house, we've got criteria for condemnation on this one. That's why it's before y'all now. We watched it for 5 years, and they did, the family didn't do anything with the property.
So they've had it 5 years prior to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Virgil had it wrote up in the property maintenance back in 19.
And what's the worst case scenario for them if we go ahead and condemn it? What they have the right to appeal, correct?
They can appeal,
Okay.
and as long as they pay the demolition costs, they get to retain the property.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, our recommendation would be go ahead and vote yes for the condemnation and move forward with it. And
Mhm.
if they want to save it, they can appeal it. If not, then we can move on to the next one.
Thank you.
And very typically, they would have 6 to 11 weeks before the vote actually translated into action, right?
No, sir, they get 10 days.
Uh,
They have 10
But I
days.
mean, in the reality of somebody getting out there and tearing it down,
Yes, sir.
10 days or 10?
No, it's 10 days for them to stop the demolition, and it could go up to 6 months depending on how busy TDOT is.
So after we vote yes, 10 days, they have 10 days to file an appeal, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then the time that's signed by the mayor, it's,
That's
Up
where
to TDOT.
that's where the lengthy time comes in, because it goes to the mayor, and then it goes back to our department, and then it goes to the utilities. And that usually, in real time, you're looking at about 90 days.
There's no opportunity during, that time is just the time the process takes to play out.
Right.
There's not additional opportunities for these folks to come
After
back
the
before
10
city
days.
council.
Right.
If the process didn't take that long, they could be bulldozed in on the 11th day. So I wouldn't want anybody to rely on the fact that it may take several weeks for it to happen.
sure. Is that the only one you had today, Barry?
No, sir, we've got one more.
Okay.
This one is at 1330 26th Street. It's in District 2. This lady was trying to work through some deed issues, and it appears she's made her way through that because she's made some repairs to the exterior. They're very little repairs, but she's still trying.
Okay.
She's cleaned out the inside and gutted it to the studs. So it appears she's fixing to start working on the interior. Now, I've not been able to speak with her, so
Is she planning to be here tonight?
I don't know. I called her and texted her. She hadn't returned my call or answered the text yet.
Yeah, this is my district. So, and I don't have any opposition with, well, what's your recommendation?
60 days.
Okay, yeah, and I haven't had any opposition from anyone about pressing the
Well,
issue at this point.
she's making effort and she's made progress.
So So I'm with this, I follow you all's recommendation, but I hope she is here tonight.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Okay, Summer Coleman, our new construction facilities and grounds director. Welcome, welcome.
Just wanted to give everyone an update on our new Director of Landscape Management. That is Craig Thorpe. He's been with the city almost 21 years, right? We're really excited to have him on board, and he's already helped me out tremendously in the last 2 weeks. So I'm excited. I hope everyone else is excited too. So
He's helped me out a lot too.
good. That's why I hired
Great
him.
job, yeah.
I appreciate everything. I appreciate this opportunity that I have here, and I appreciate those I worked with in the past that helped me get to this point. I really look forward to how we're going to proceed with summer and the things we've got in the future with this department. So I appreciate it. If y'all have anything, give me a call.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Craig.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Summer, are you just going through, right now, your first full week, I guess you're just going through and assessing what you,
Yes,
I know it's a huge,
we've gotten several things I've been trying to work on as far as standards and just trying to get a process in place, just to make things run a little bit smoother. So we're
Right.
working through some of those things. And, so far, so good.
let us know if we can help you in any way. Thank you for coming out to the Christmas tree lighting.
Oh, it was fun.
Really appreciate that. Randy,
So I'm just coming back to give you guys a quick update. As you know, the last time we talked, we went through and decided to advertise for some more resumes for ZBA. As of this morning, and I think maybe an hour before this meeting started, we have not gotten any. The deadline to submit applications was set for the 8th, which is this Thursday. If you guys would like to extend the deadline, we can. If you guys want to look back at the resumes that you guys got before, that's cool too. But I just kind of wanted to get an update from y'all to see how you guys wanted to handle it if we did not get any resumes.
I know one that's coming in, but we need two.
Let's extend the week.
Yeah, I think we should send it at least till December 15th.
We need two more. We need three in all, but you got one for sure, right?
So keep in mind, on tonight's agenda, you'll have
We just need two
two
supernumerary.
supernumerary, yeah.
But
So,
you have one coming for sure.
Michelle, I think.
so on tonight's agenda, you'll
No,
have an
she's already
ordinance
on it.
appointing Ms. Coley
Ryan
and
Winter.
Mr. Gillum as regular members. So that'll take care of the two that you guys needed for
Said he'll
regular
do it.
positions. You'll need two more. After the last time we spoke, we had one more resignation, so that'll mean you'll need two supernumerary
Yeah.
positions. Yes.
I had a really nice conversation with Mr. Robertson and very cordial and he felt like it wasn't the best at this time to continue but he certainly looked forward to serving the city in some other ways.
Okay.
And so
All right.
he's a great guy and I think we'll be seeing his name further down the road.
I got somebody on the list I might want to look at too. She's already. She might.
All right.
She's a
And
real.
we're extending it for how long?
Another
Till
week.
December 15th.
Okay, another
Okay.
week.
Okay.
Thursday week?
I'm not gonna recommend it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get two.
Actually,
Tonight, Felicia Prentice.
so they'll both be supernumeraries, that's coming in and
Okay.
so,
She already submitted a resume. So I'll tell y'all.
okay.
Okay.
All righty, thank you, Brandy. Mr. Holmes,
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, council.
good afternoon.
I appreciate our friends over at Urban Development saving me quite a bit of reading on today's agenda. My portion begins at the bottom of page 2 on your table of contents there. It will be on page 45 where you'll be authorizing a contract amendment number 2 with TTL for the River District Park project. That is a total maximum compensation amount of $781,137 and an additional 60 days. You heard about that in projects on the 22nd. On page 46, you'll be authorizing minor public works contract with Aspla Tree Experts. That is a total of $4,300, and you heard about that projects on the 22nd as well. On page 47, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Carl Eric Johnson. That is a total of $18,723, and again was talked about in projects on the 22nd. On page 48, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Morin Repair Service. This is regarding water pump washing at Ed Love, and that's a total of $12,665, and again was on projects on the 22nd. On page 49, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Moore and Repair Services, and this is for the Jerry Plot raw water pump number 4. That is a total amount of $11,485, and again was on projects on the 22nd. On page 50, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Jim House and Associates. That is a total of $13,561. It was on projects on the 22nd. On page 51, you'll be authorizing a minor public works contract with Paints on Us Plus. That is a total of $4,800 and came from projects on the 22nd. On page 52, you'll be authorizing the mayor to execute a service agreement with Comcast Business Total. This is for the new fire station number 6, and that's a total of $20,719.36. Again, was on projects on the 22nd. On page 53, you'll be authorizing a professional services contract with Ward Scott Morris Architecture for facilities planning services. This is for the City Hall complex, and it is a total not to exceed contract of $50,000, and again was discussed in projects on the 22nd. On page 54, you'll be authorizing the renewal of insurance coverage. This is a premium payment cost of $212,296.80. On page 55, you'll be authorizing the CFO to draw a draft for the Downs Improvement Project. This is property acquisition, and that is a total of $7,200. On page 56, you'll be authorizing the mayor to sign a funding agreement with the Tuscaloosa County Road Improvement Commission. This is for reimbursement on the McWrights Ferry Road project. That is a total of $68,868,054.74. I believe that is doubled up for on finance today.
Is all we're doing amending the amount on there?
Yes, sir. This is, we previously had the funding agreement, but then once we opened bids and got a final amount, we're re-amending it. On page 57, you'll be authorizing a contract with Axon Enterprise Incorporated and declaring a bid law exemption pursuant to Alabama Code 41-16-51A15, and that is a total of $92,351.32. On page 58, you'll be authorizing amendment number 4 to fiscal year 2023 General Fund for Future Improvements. This is it looks like it's doubled up and is on Finance Committee today. On page 59, you'll be authorizing signors for various city accounts. This comes from our Accounting and Finance Department. On page 60, you'll be authorizing amendment number 1 to the 2021 subrecipient agreement with the Tuscaloosa Housing Authority and authorizing the mayor to execute an amendment with the Tuscaloosa Housing Authority under the city's 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program. That came from projects on the 22nd. And finally, on page 64, you'll be authorizing amendment number 5 to fiscal year 2023 general fund budget. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Any questions for Scott?
I've got, Chief, on page 57. What's going on there? No.
This
Brent,
is, I
what's
believe, cameras for TPD interview rooms?
Yes, sir. When we did the new Axon switch over to body cameras, somehow our interview rooms and that kind of stuff got left out of that quote. We don't know how it did, but it's just to install that. It's budgeted.
Okay.
So this is when a CID investigator would be interviewing a suspect or witness in the room. All that's video recorded.
So is it being recorded now?
Yes, sir. We're switched over.
What, we got a university intern with a video camera?
You know what we gotta do, sir.
Probably the lens scout. Alrighty, good, Scott. Busy day today, projects, finance, admin, properties, and of course, council meeting at 6. And this time I invited Stan Pate to come and address the pre-council today over a subject that I think we'll all find very interesting.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
And members of the council, I don't forget, but it's good to see all of you. I'm in the process of seeking a fully integrated medical marijuana license. I know the council is well aware that the state of Alabama has passed a law that allows that. I'm seeking a possible resolution in support of the project. If you can find your way, maybe you can put me in there as support. The project in a fully integrated license allows for you to grow, to process, extract, they call it a lab, and ultimately do a group of finished products, finished medical products that are allowed under the state law. The goal, or not the goal, is in the application process, you have to complete the design, identify by deed and by drawings your facilities. You have to own your dispensaries under a fully integrated license. You're allowed to submit 5 dispensaries. You get to pick the locations. And you get ultimately required to identify your transportation. You have to have a comprehensive security plan. You have to own the vehicles that you're going to transport. And when you submit the application, you have to own the dispensary sites. It's a little bit challenging to think that you need to do that before you won't even, they're not going to award these licenses till probably summer, fall. We're in the process of putting an application together. You got the application only about 30 days ago, and you've been through Thanksgiving, and your application has to be in really to upload it in their system electronically by the 19th of this month. A facility of the type we're talking about, we would be putting it at 1301 Industrial Park Drive. Some of you are familiar, most of you are familiar where my office is. It used to be a former spandex plant. I bought it to hold it into place to use it as industrial property for something in the future. It's taken a while. But it's ideal given that you're going to have a lot of grow lights. We have significant power in the facility. So we'll be putting 50,000 square feet of grow area. We'll be using probably about 10,000 feet for extraction processing. That's where you remove the oil from the flower, from the bud. Those of you that are familiar. So I haven't smoked one yet, but I'm not dead yet either. But there will be no smokable and no gummies.
Bill Clinton in here.
No smokies, no gummies allowed. Smoke gummies. Some of the vapes are not allowed under what the commission has decided are the rules. Significant commission. The University of South Alabama under Congressman Bonner has been given the task of grading these applications. Now, these are serious applications. I'm about $700,000 into this application because of all the things that I just said you have to do. But when you get down to, we're going to offer up a dispensary here in Tuscaloosa, which is on 15th Street, which is, Eric, are you here? Well, Eric has helped, I think, get an approval by planning or whoever that the site qualifies. It's got to be 1,000 feet from a school or a daycare is the big qualifiers for a dispensary site. The 1301 property, there would be about $30 million in additional modifications, equipment that would be added to the facility. Specifically, these are very sophisticated grows that involve a lot of science as to what you feed the plants, how much light you give the plants, what strain you use. The goal with this plan is to do some cooperative work with the University of Alabama in research of these cannabinoids and the possible other cannabinoids that are in minor quantities in this oil for other medical purposes. And I think there's a lot of hope and interest in further exploring the cannabinoids. And we're looking at making some alliances. Research and development really interests me, and I think that goes beyond the University of Alabama, possibly to UAB and or other places. some of the growth science, we think we can create a relationship with some of the institutions within the state that have agronomics departments. So with all that said, in Tuscaloosa, at the manufacturing facility, processing facility, finished products, drivers, we're talking about 130 to 150 jobs. It is a significant job creator. And that does not include the dispensary here in Tuscaloosa. We'll be submitting a dispensary in Jefferson County. We're submitting a dispensary in Oxford, Alabama. We're submitting a dispensary in Gadsden. And I'm in the process of trying to acquire a site at Florence or somewhere in Madison. And that is the plan. And again, when I got the application, I didn't imagine it was going to take a number of consultants, experts, and so forth to put it together. But again, it's 1,000 pages already today and more to go. And cruising to 700 grand. And I'd like to take some questions. A resolution of support from the community that I live in and the community that I've made significant investments in, and have demonstrated that we can execute on projects. I would hope the council would find it has merits to pass a resolution, because it'd be very important in the application. The community you live in won't support 100 and some few jobs. It's, you know, the application, I think, just collapses on its face.
And that's why I had asked Mr. Pate to come here today, is any questions anyone had, because strictly what he's asking for is a letter of support, a resolution of support.
Yeah.
And no other obligations besides it to support his project.
Right.
You know, Stan, one of the things that I'm getting inundated with calls, people wanting to do this, you know, have this. There's so many people out there who don't really understand this process of medical marijuana dispensaries and all these things, and they're just looking, I think in a lot of cases, this is certainly not thought out like you've done, but it's very complicated.
The state has made it very difficult for applications. There are a lot of people excited about it. I can understand why.
Yeah.
But the reality, the applications process in itself is going to eliminate a lot of the people that are interested. I had no idea that you would have to fully design a comprehensive extraction process, a comprehensive grow. You have to design the facility and give your SOPs, your standard operating procedure, for every step of this grow and finished products. And that's one of the reasons it's been so expensive to hire up, and the state encourages you to hire somebody or align with somebody has been in the growing business. And if you can't grow it, you can't process it. If you can't grow it, you can't process it, you can't make any finished goods. You can't make any finished goods, you can't run your dispensary.
Right.
So, I mean, the success starts with being able to grow. Now, I've had a question of the state, and I don't quite understand it. If it's illegal in the state of Alabama, and it's federally illegal, exactly how do you get your pot plants into Alabama? Now, I can tell you, if they can't answer that question, I'm not going to be willing to commit a felony to get it into the state of Alabama. But I'm sure we'll get a reasonable answer to that. The commission is taking questions on a daily basis to further clarify. I mean, this is a big step for the state,
Right.
and most people believe that it will ultimately lead to recreational, decriminalization and recreational sales. Alabama's pretty slow. Now, one of the things that happens in these states, if you looked around the country, I've been working on those for about 5 years. Started out you appreciate this, in Humboldt County, up in the hills.
Yeah.
Stayed up there about 3 days with the guys, but it is, I lost my train of thought there, but it's, you know, there's a lot of work to it. There's a lot of science to it, and I'm fully committed to it. There's some other owners, all residents of Alabama, and all but one Tuscaloosa residents. There's a scattering of expertise from technology, that people that have distinguished themselves in technology, legal, construction, medical physician, or possibly by the end of the day or early in the morning, maybe physicians, specifically seeking somebody in the cancer area, because a lot of these THC products offer a lot of comfort and relief to people that are terminally or battling cancer. And you know, I'm excited about the health and wellness aspect. I'm not the richest man in the world, but I'm going to be fine for the rest of my life. But if you can do things that potentially help people, and we know they do, we know they do. Now, you don't eat any of the ice cream. I can tell you that, because I did out in Colorado. And about a little bitty half spoon of ice cream, and you feel pretty good. So, while I hadn't smoked any, I'm not sure what was in the ice cream. It didn't say Ben and Jerry's on it, but
Stan.
so again, I'm talking a lot.
Can I
Ask
ask
the
you a
questions,
question?
please.
You mentioned the 19th. Does your complete application have to be in? Is it in intention? So you put your application in. What is the time frame or the process for approval? And then if you were approved, when would you be in business?
That's a very good question. With 1301, we believe that leapfrogs us around the competition. Now, there are only going to be 4 other fully integrated facilities that allow you to grow and process and produce finished products. There are a scattering of people that only are applying to process it, people that are only applying for dispensary, people that are only applying for grow. But these applications are turned in on the 19th, where they ultimately wind up South Alabama, where there's a grading process, where the commission is co-opted out for South Alabama to review and grade. Now they've suggested that sometime in the summer, maybe late spring, early fall, they're not sure, they've never done this before. And then when you look around to other states, as soon as there's 5 people or 5 companies issued license, then the lawsuits start. You know, why was my application turned down? Why was my application, or why am I not the choice over the other choice? Whether that'll happen in Alabama or not, I can't tell you. I'm telling you what our consultants are telling us and what has happened in other states. So that could delay, to answer your question, even longer. And then the time to build, it's a year. It's a year before you put product in a store. And you know, you got a brand right now, you got an image, you got to have your graphics. I mean, what is required to be done is obvious to eliminate people. And it's getting expensive, but you know, to put 130, 150 jobs here, that'd be nice.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem supporting it. I don't know if
You know, I believe the state will look, and ultimately they'll see that the fact that, you know, I choose a dispensary in the Florence area, somebody might have chosen one next door. They'll have to work that out among, if it are, you know, applicants that are successful. I believe that we'll have to open more dispensaries. They encourage, you know, to look at minority communities, underserved communities. And what I'm doing with my sites is getting around the interstate like we've proven successful. That you get it becomes a regional site not just a local site, so that,
Stan or maybe Scott, who's the awarding authority? And are the awards at each individual stage of the vertical integration or in toto?
the awarding authority would be the commission, is my understanding.
It's chaired by Bonner.
No, Bonner is the president of South Alabama. They're going to evaluate. The commission is a significantly large commission with unbelievable talent on the commission. They've reached and got people from almost every segment out there that you could imagine. But they will ultimately make the decision, I believe.
And are they making multiple regional selections, or is it one for all of Alabama, or do we know?
How they grade your application, you know, I don't know all the details, but certainly they're going to look. You have to have your real estate totally under control or ownership. I'm sure they're going to look at where your dispensaries are located. They've encouraged minority, at least a minority location. One of these applications for fully integrated is set aside for minority, and some of the other licensors set aside for a minority. So there'll be 5 fully integrated licenses. One is set aside for a minority, the other 4 for anybody, could be another minority, who knows? This is you know, this is a lot of structure and competitive. There've been a lot of people seek 500, I think, are after a fully integrated, but I think when they begin to look at the application, I mean, it just falls out. I mean, I got 125 grand into it, and I thought about stopping. You know, to have to own the automobiles, what do you do for a year? Let them sit in front of the office, you know?
Mr. Pate, you brought this plan before Planning and Zoning Commission, and that was just for the design of the facility, correct?
What I bought before the Planning and Zoning Commission is I bought 1401, which is next to 1301. 1401 was occupied by a company by the name of Felicia. And there's vacant land that was with the 1401. I wanted to separate out the vacant land so it could be potentially used for 1301 if we had some regular greenhouses outside the glass, which are allowed by the state with security around them. 1401 is going to be occupied by a company by the name of Eclipse. It's a Canadian company. This will be one of their major facilities in Alabama. They make large, complex HVAC systems, heat, cooling, for hospitals and automotive, and maybe some other customers. But it's nice to welcome them to the community. They're going to have some significantly high-paying jobs at their operation. So I'm pretty excited. 1401 has turned out to be a good investment, and I believe with jobs coming with it. And 1301, if we're successful in a license, it'll create a lot of jobs. It'll create a lot of jobs for students. Really, the research side of it and the things that we don't know about the cannabinoids and what they may do for the health and wellness of people is something that really, really excites me. I don't know how many of you know, but I'm a chemical engineer by training. I wanted to be a doctor. I was just too poor to go to I needed to go to work.
Yeah.
And I prepared myself to go to medical school, but I did not go. But I still have tremendous experience, in my opinion. I've been buying and selling chemical plants my entire adult life and equipment. And I'll assure you, when the ownership team is known, that this council will be extremely happy with. Everybody's through a very comprehensive background check. I mean, very comprehensive, including going to Aaliyah and everybody's with, resumes are being reviewed. It's, that's a real vetting process, even of ownership.
So, is there a discussion about, of course, you're asking for a letter of support for your application and from this council?
Whose district is the dispensary, or will the
Is it-
dispensary
it's
be?
District 1.
It'll be in one, but I'd be.
I think, as you were talking, I was kind of reading up on the law and rules, and, whatever, I've never smoked a day in my life, but there are medicinal ways that we can help people who are sick to be better, and so I'll be willing to support that.
They have to get a physician has to issue a medical marijuana card, and it's monitored. I mean, there is security required when you come in the lobby. You don't just go in like you're going to shop in some store. You go to the lobby, and you got to have your medical marijuana card, your driver's license. Security is there. You got to be approved to go back. There's only so many people that can be back behind the door at one time. What I'm simply asking, y'all have shown support for medical marijuana because you passed an ordinance.
Right.
There are a lot of cities across Alabama that hadn't woke up and hadn't passed an ordinance and don't recognize, they look at it and think it's a pharmacy and say, well, we can't collect tax on a drugstore. Tax are allowed by the law.
Yeah.
So, some of these medical marijuana retail locations are doing $12 million, $15 million. I mean, you can do the math. It is a lot of sales tax revenue. The other side that I'm talking about support for is simply to, grow, manufacture. That's all about jobs.
Right.
That's the big number that will come from that. Certainly there'll be some personal property tax on, millions. There'll be some request of IDA to waive the property tax, just like any other manufacturer out there with their 10-year tax exemption. Whether we get it or not, I don't know. One thing I will tell you, because it's illegal federally, you don't get your depreciation on anything, which severely impacts what we're talking about. Because you go out and buy it today, if you went out and bought $20 million worth of equipment, put it in service this year, you'd write 100% of it off. But regardless, there is, it's not legally federal.
Does the state let you do it, Sam? Does the state let you write off depreciation on that?
I don't know. I doubt it, but I don't know. It's a good question. I just don't know the answer to the question. We're looking at, because it's a year off, we couldn't get an agreement with somebody that is superior in security. Somebody spent some time, you'll understand this, Commissioner Busby, spent some time in Afghanistan. FBI spent some time in Iraq, is doing security now for the Jewish community. A very, very high resume. So we're talking to him about being a consultant, and we'll know in the next day or so, but somebody will serve as director of security. Now, there's a significant number of these security services that have marijuana security divisions, and we're getting a proposal. Sure, Securitas has one. We're accountants, or a firm of 750 accountants that have a specific division that deal with medical marijuana. We're hoping to cover all the bases. If you don't cover all the bases, it's going to be difficult to be approved. There's going to be serious competition and a lot of very, very qualified people. Typically what happens, you don't get an application on the first round. As they expand, those people are considered for second round.
The read I'm getting is that this council in support of moving forward with a resolution of support.
Yes.
And
So, I
Yeah,
think
go
we got.
I'm not gonna do it today.
Well, I was gonna say, we
Unless
can,
I'm gonna get with Mr. Holmes.
Okay, because we can do two things. We can do a resolution.
Yeah.
Or we can do simply a letter signed by the individual, each of the individual councils.
I'm happy with that. I just,
And we
one
talked
of,
about
one
that
of the
last
parts
night.
of the application, and this is a part that really bothers me. They want you to go out and seek letters that show that you've been a good community citizen, that you've been involved in, civic things, charitable contributions, and I'm very strong that giving has nothing to do with identifying who you are. And I've had to backtrack in that. And then they want reference letters, and there've been some people who give me some references that I'm extremely proud of.
Yeah, I've talked to quite a few people who have done that for you, including the city of Birmingham. And other things. But, so why don't we try to work on, deciding what we want to do, the resolution, individual letters, however best we feel like it needs to be done.
Resolutions.
I'll get
I mean, there's nothing binding here. I mean, I need support of the project,
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I think you're gonna.
the job creation, and if you can show some support, if it gets uncomfortable.
I mean, it's happened.
I think you're gonna, and the people want
For it to be mean, that's okay.
What they need to realize that, and still some people out there just don't understand, this is not recreational marijuana that we're approving that we know is illegal.
I had to decide whether I was going to be discreet about this application or I was going to be public about the application. That was on one of my trips. I took a picture of me with some marijuana, and we posted it on my Facebook page, which some of my people are learning. We had 40,000 views. So there is interest in it.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit.
But not the right interest. The public does not really understand what this law allows.
No.
Right.
And that's why I was telling you last night, a lot of people that I've gotten calls from, they do not understand. Mr. Holmes, did you want to say something?
Yes, sir. I was, Mr. Pate mentioned the idea of individual letters. I think that would be helpful from my end. My concern is a resolution of the body potentially for a specific project would constitute a thing of value under Section 94 of the Constitution, which would have to go through the 772 process, which the earliest I think we could probably do would be the 20th, which I believe is the day after Mr. Pate.
We could get by with the 20th. What it is when you get an application, this application is going to wind up being a couple thousand pages. When you start uploading that, there's some real concern about if you have a problem. Now, you deliver a paper document has to be delivered by the 30th. Christmas is on Sunday. Last business day of the year is the 30th of December.
I'd rather do a
But,
resolution.
Again, we're supporting 130 to 150 jobs.
Yes, sir.
And Scott, we'll get, I think what I'm hearing from all the council, they would prefer a resolution.
If nobody's requested this of the council by now, given the kinds of things that they encourage in this application, I'd be surprised if you see it.
Yes.
I mean, there are a lot of councils just running that have recognized around the state that they're about to miss this opportunity, and there's rush to ordinances everywhere across the state.
I think we're good. Mr. Busby just said he'd sign it, so I think we're all.
Resolution or individual.
I know this has been long. I appreciate the opportunity, the attention.
It's good to see you
And,
again down here.
let's hope we get the application. There are a lot of other things that are going on in the city or in my life that are important to this council in the city. They'll be coming forth here pretty soon.
Right.
There's at least two, there's a councilman and a councilwoman here that will be happy.
I think so. We'll be smiling. Yeah, for
All right,
sure.
again, thank you very much.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate it,
And
Mr.
and I
Pate.
don't need to miss this deadline, whatever the
No.
council, if
No,
you
you
see
won't
the
miss it.
way.
You won't miss it.
Thank you.
We'll get on that today.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Well, I don't know when, I have to be out of business, I have to get in business and then be out of business to make good on my business. I'll let you witness it.
Thank you, Stan. All right, I'm glad he came because I've been talking to him for a couple of weeks, and it's just best that he just come before everybody. And, so, all right, framework meets
And Mr. Turner,
tomorrow
before
at
you-
5. Okay,
Yeah.
just 1 second. And then, in the council chambers. Okay, Councilor Wilson.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, thank you so much for this opportunity. I sent you and the mayor an email. I know many of our non-sworn officers get off holidays an hour before time, and I wanted to kind of bring to our council, what if those workers who are non-sworn got off a half a day? What would that cost? What's the process to even consider that for them, instead of getting off 1 hour before time, but in half a day?
Now,
Half a day.
when you say
No,
non-sworn.
no,
who
no,
are you
non-police
talking
officer,
about?
non-police and fire.
Non-police and fire?
Right.
I run that by Ms. Kemp yesterday.
Okay.
Ms. Kemp, we talked about the possibilities of you looking up, a request and see what your recommendation possibly would be about, making it uniform for people to have a half day off on day before holiday instead of an hour before or something like that. Just,
Yes.
could you look at that for us?
Yes, sir. We certainly will. We certainly appreciate the council for considering that our employees work hard.
They do, every
And
day.
it's definitely nice for the council to consider that. We'll certainly be glad to look into it. Just off the top, of course, we need to look at operations.
Sure.
Also, there would be financial implications. One of the things is we have 11 paid holidays. So if you have employees that cannot get off, that's 4 hours of comp time, which is 44 hours, and they get paid comp time when they leave the city.
Sure.
So that's about a week's worth of pay.
Well, I know it's not an easy solution by any
Right.
means. That's why I just
Right.
wanted to start with you and let
Right.
you look at it and
Yes, sir.
tell us your recommendation.
Yes, sir. I will absolutely give you all the information that you need to make an informed decision
Please.
Okay.
and go from there.
Yeah.
If you could give me a week or so.
Take your time.
Okay. Thank
You
you.
can do that the first of the year.
Thank
I mean, just get through the holidays.
Yes, sir. Thank
No.
you.
Enjoy yourself,
Yes.
Miss A-Bear.
Say, Barry,
I like A-Bears. By the way, if you see Carly coming into the parking deck, run. That girl can fly.
I saw you come around the other way,
I know.
the other way.
I was like, did you see the whites of my eyes?
You going the wrong way?
No, she was.
Oh, she was. It's not good, Carla.
Oh, that was funny. It reminded me of one of the Home Alone or some movies I'd seen. That was Santa Claus. He got killed before Christmas.
It's not good.
It's not good. No, Santa does
Don't
not.
spread that rumor.
No.
I made a tactical decision about how fast you were going because how fast I needed
Oh, I
to go.
stopped. All right, anybody else here? This is a big crowd. Need to address pre-council in any way? Okay, thank you for being here today. There's no executive session. There's a motion that we adjourn.
Moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.